Hello and welcome to the Gallant Few podcast. I am your host Scotty and I'm joined currently by Andrew and Shona. We're just awaiting Davy P to come in. Andrew, how are you getting on?
Yeah, not bad, Scotty. Pretty decent day. I was actually fortunate enough to go up and get my photo with the League Cup at New Edmondson House today. So nice seeing a bit of silverware. The last time I would have seen it was probably when I was about 8 years old. So good that we've kind of got back to winning ways with that. And I'm sure we'll, for the rest of the season, we'll keep talking about that piece of trophy, piece of silverware, until we win the next one.
And bringing a wee bit of glamour and common sense to pods there, Shona. Shona, how are you getting on?
Hey Scott, hey Andrew, yeah, good to see you both. Merry Christmas to everybody that's out there. So hope you all had a good one. And yeah, looking forward to obviously having a nice wee break off, put my legs up just like the rest of the Rangers team after those Masonic weathermen out there. So no, it's good to be back and looking forward to the game on Saturday and obviously talking about our new signing.
So before we go on to the new signing, obviously the game was called off last night. Derek Adams was in the media last week giving a go at the standard of Scottish football and he can't even get his team up to 89. But thankfully, we've signed a player on loan for Wolves today, Fabio Silva, 21-year-old Portuguese under-21 international. Andrew, what's your overall thoughts on him signing?
Well, my first kind of thought was it's a name I kind of remembered from his time at Porto. He said in his piece on the website when we announced the signing that he'd been at Ibrox with Porto in the Europa League. I remember him, but at that point saying, because I still am, but I love my FIFA and my career modes, and I remember at that time seeing him in the program going, oh, he's going to be some player, he'll be some player. I mean, his price tag certainly would have been a good start. Obviously, his kind of stats and his game time at Wolves has probably been to his liking. A couple of loan moves out in kind of recent years, last season, across something else, a couple of big teams, names in Europe. Certainly doesn't do any harm for him to come here, try and get his stock value back up to where it was when we signed that big deal at Wolves.
And Shona, what about you? What's your overall thoughts? Are you happy?
Well, kind of similar to Andrew, but I actually remember this guy from, well, I used to call it Champman, but it's now Football Manager in 2001 and 2022. And he was one of the wonder kids under Erling Haaland. And I had him in my Rangers team and he won us the Champions League. So, yeah, no, I've been actually following this guy for a wee while, a few years now when he moved. Obviously, he did well at Porto. And then he got his move to Wolves. I just don't think it's really worked out for him. But I do think this guy, honestly, guys, I think this is a really good loan signing for us. I think it's what we needed. I think we obviously need more. I think we'll go into that anyway. But no, I think this is one that I think I'm quite excited about. I think it's just not worked out for my Wolves. He's got European experience. His goal record is not as bad as what people are making out. And I think at 21, I think he's got a lot to prove. And I think this is what his opportunity is to the next 6 months try and prove himself, and maybe that might get him back into the first team at Wolves, or might get him that transfer in the summer. So no, I'm actually thinking this is a pretty good loan deal. I don't think we could have asked for any better, in the fact that he likes a wee bit of European football, doesn't he? That's why he joined us instead of them. So no, happy days.
Andrew, he's come in, he's took a number 7 shirt. Rangers are covering his wages, which are reported between 40 and 80 grand a week. He was on loan last season at Anderlecht and PSV. What kind of impact can you see him having?
I think the first thing, as I even said it, was that price tag that was attached when he made his move from Portugal to Wolves. That's silly money. I think we all know, even if players are quality nowadays, like just the evolution of football, the current time, every player's got a price tag. Football is less of a sport and now it's a business. So I think we will need to kind of relax ourselves with just because he's 45 million doesn't mean he's going to go score 6 and 7 every week. Certainly if he does that, then fair play to him, and it would be some feat, and 45 million would look like a small fee, but as long as he can be making impacts early doors. If it takes him a wee bit of time to find his feet or get used to the kind of systems, I can understand that. But this kind of run into the kind of title race going towards the summer when his deal expires. I'd like him to be the kind of game winners. I want him to kind of produce in those game-changing moments, whether it's in the league, it's in Scottish Cup, or if it's in Europe, depending on how far we go on that. I think I'd like him to be contributing in those when the game's on the line moments. I need him to pop up with an assist or a goal, and then I think if he does that, maybe get some more silverware, then by all means, thank you for your service and back to Wolves and get yourself in that Prem team or get a bigger move somewhere else.
Shona, he's come in with a kind of, we were talking about this before the pod started, he's come in, I think he's come in with a kind of the same ideas we had with Aaron Ramsey, dare I say his name. He's come in with a big reputation. He's getting paid the big money. Do you think we can rely on him to win his points when needed?
Well, the fact that he's already met up with Clement prior to this, and I think Clement's been tracking him, obviously being in Belgium at the same time as Clement as well. So I think all we can do is try and trust the manager on this one. I think they've obviously been tracking him for maybe a few months now, or a few weeks. So, and the fact that obviously I said earlier on that the manager's met with him, I think that kind of put his mind to it. I think with the European football as well, I think that will suit him. The fact that he's already got experience in there. I think as well, he's right-sided. He can play off the number 10. He's quite good at holding the ball up. I think he can play off either right side or left-sided wing if he wanted to, more as an inverted striker. But look, he's injury-free. I think that's another plus point for us going through this season at the moment. I think that's a big thing for us. And yeah, look, his numbers are actually not so bad. I think actually his numbers have grown since he's come out of the Premier League and gone somewhere different. I heard his English as well has got a lot better, so that won't be a problem. Trying to link up with the players. So no, I think overall, I think he's broken a few records. Like I said earlier on, I think I looked down here. I say he's the youngest player in the club's history for Porto. He's the youngest European player in the club's history for Porto. He's the youngest goal scorer. His dad and his brother played football, so it's obviously football's in his blood. So but what he does give you, I think what he can give you is 100% effort. And I think we've seen that with the likes of Sima at times. Even though Sima's not been having the greatest of games, he still puts in that effort. So if we can get that and we can add goals as well from Fabio Silva, I think the fans will really, really take to him. I think actually this is a club that's probably going to be quite well suited for him, I think. But look, as I said, I think a lot of this will be down to what he does on the pitch. But I just believe that because the manager's already been tracking him for at least a while, even signing somebody, I don't know about you, this is not like Rangers to sign somebody before January, is it? And before our director of football comes in. So it's been quite refreshing, I think, for today. I think a lot of people did not expect this one to happen. I think the rumours were kind of doing the rounds the last maybe 7 to 10 days. And I don't think anyone really thought they were that realistic. The guy's, what, a £35 million striker, or so-called £35 million striker. So, no, I think this one's been a good one. I really do.
Aye, definitely. Brings me on to my kind of next point. There's a lot of talk about Shankland in the chat. Obviously, we've got a good few players that are going to be going off to AFCON in January, the African Cup of Nations. Like Cyril Dessers has been rumoured to been getting a call up for Nigeria, and Leon Balogun, due to the fact that he is playing better. We can't disagree with that. He is playing a bit better than what he was. Abdullah Sima. Andrew, do you think that Silva could cover the left wing position if Sima is called up? And do you think we should bring in another striker, Lawrence Shankland?
I think Silva could play that kind of inside forward, inverted winger, whatever you want to kind of call it. Funnily enough, I'd been saying that I think having Sima, who gives so much effort down that wing, is kind of helping Dessers out. I think Sima certainly, when there is the kind of hold-up play that Dessers is bringing, and he is getting better at it again, you're rightly saying, his performance, he's hit that purple patch. I think Sima and Dessers have been working well when the ball's been circling around that area in the pitch. I think if we can get him in anywhere in that attack, it'll certainly at least help the kind of legs that we've got. If he can maybe play on that right side, give McCausland a bit of a break. Also an unlucky point is he's still a young boy. You don't want to burn him out. Shankland, I mean, I feel like it's becoming a bit of the Shankland show recently. I mean, me and Mason, we're certainly talking about this the earlier on, I think last week, that he's very high in our shopping list. He scored obviously in the Edinburgh Derby. Maybe not penalties for him. I think we could leave that to Tav if he's to come in. But I think this is a nice short term move, which would buy Coppins and Clement time if Hearts are going to play hardball and want a fee that we might not agree on. So I think this covers the short term, and maybe hope that Dessers doesn't get picked by Nigeria. I think he was in the provisional squad, but I think they still had something like 6 or 7 strikers in that provisional list that they'll need to cut down, obviously. So I think if Sima goes, probably operating in that left wing to cover Sima's kind of the lack of him being in that team. You know, it's hard not to love the guy. His effort is top. He just loves playing in our jersey, scoring goals, getting assists. I mean, it's horrible the timing for AFCON, but fair play, go and represent your country. You deserve it.
Aye, definitely. You can't hold it against any boys if they want to go and play for their country. For me, bringing in another striker is important. I think Lawrence Shankland's going to bring us goals and might not offer you much more than that, but he does know where the net is. As we seen last night, he was. I watched him actually, wasn't he really in it for a major part of the game, but then he comes up in the 92nd minute with a winner. Shona, what's your thoughts on where Silva's going to fit in when the boys get called up to AFCON if they do in Shankland again?
Well, it's interesting because obviously got the Tondo in there as well, haven't you? So, no, I think it'll be an interesting one as to who plays in that left-hand side. I think Silva can play there if you need him to. Do I think Dessers is going to get called up for the African Cup of Nations? I don't think so. I think that's Victor Osimhen of Napoli's in front of him. Victor, is it Boniface or whatever his name is as well, that are in front of him. There's a number of other players that are well in front of Dessers. I can't see Dessers getting called up. Same on the other hand, possibly, hopefully not, because I think he's probably been our biggest goal threat this year, and not even that. It's just his work effort on and off the ball for me. But yeah, I do think we probably need to bring in another striker. I don't know about anyone else that's heard the rumours that are going around. I've heard a few rumours about Lawrence Shankland. I heard one rumour that the deal was pretty close and it was pretty done. Maybe Alex Lowry was going to be part of the deal. I'm now hearing that, according to Andy Halliday today, that Hearts went up to £6 million for him. There's absolutely not a chance that we'll be paying anywhere near £6 million for Lawrence Shankland, or even above £5 million, if that's what they're actually asking for. I think that now is the time to try and go and get him, because if he does sign that new Hearts deal within the next couple of weeks, I think it's really then up to us. It really is blackmail. It really is take it or leave it sort of thing. It will be a case of take the £5 million, ask for the £5 million, or he's going to be on a new contract. There's no chance of him getting us buying him in the summer. Absolutely not a chance. I can't see us buying out his contract. So you're probably talking for a bit of similar fee in the summer. I just can't see us doing that. So I've heard that rumour. I've also heard a rumour that the manager doesn't fancy Shankland, so and that we might possibly be looking at 2 Chelsea players. Who those guys are, I've got no idea. So I think we definitely need to bring in another striker. I don't fancy it being a loan deal. I would rather it be something a bit more permanent. The only other one out there that I can think of at the moment is probably Miovski, but maybe look at the wee guy from Kilmarnock. He's also doing quite well. He's one to look at. So I can't remember his name off the top of my head, which is going to annoy
Watson,
me.
I think. Watson.
But,
or Armstrong. Is it Watson or Armstrong you're thinking about? Watson's the centre mid.
That's one to an eye.
He's a centre mid. Armstrong's a winger. Aye, Armstrong's a winger.
Who's the guy who's scoring the wonder goals for Kilmarnock at the moment?
Is that no Marley Watkins?
Young boy.
Yeah.
Marley Watkins.
Really young boy. 16, 17. Anyway, we need to watch him. He's scored a few crackers recently. But yeah, I think at this moment in time, guys, I think the January transfer market is really, really difficult. I think if you want to win the league, I think you're going to have to pay over and above £3 million for Lawrence Shankland. I'm not happy about that, but I think you've got to do that if you want to win this league, because he's a guy that's probably going to guarantee you to score goals and he knows what the league's about. But for me, guys, I don't think it's going to happen.
Andrew, see where we're on a kind of a transfer business. Rangers have been out and done their business quite early, as we can see, with a loan signing a Silva today. Where do you see is going after this? Do you see is going down the route of bringing quality in, like Silva, or quantity, bringing numbers in? you see them loan deals? Just do you see anybody you've kind of had your eye on that we could potentially go and pinch?
I mean, it's a difficult one. I certainly hope that. I mean, we've been saying it at the games recently. Me and my dad. You know, Coppin and Philip Clement. Obviously, I've got a kind of good relationship. They've obviously had crossed over at other clubs, and I was certainly hoping that Coppin, although I don't think he technically starts until the start of the new year, would have a list of players. Would be talking to Clement outside of ours and going, you know, we've got a plan here, we've got a plan there. What do these guys? What you think of these guys? And kind of, you know, having a strategy in place for January. Although, as we said, he doesn't technically start until the 1st when the new year starts. Certainly, the main thing is that we are being proactive and not reactive. Sitting in the deadline with 2 hours to go, going, are we going to get this guy in or not? Going out there, setting your stall early and getting somebody is exactly what I want to see. I think I remember 2 years ago, I think Celtic announced 3 players on like midnight of Hogmanay, and it kind of just felt like that they really are. I know it's quite funny to say now, obviously they're kind of at the moment, but they're forward thinking with their signings. That helps because at that point it was Ange. He knew the players he wanted, and he went out and got them. He said he knew exactly who we wanted to get, and he said, we're getting them, or we just need these guys, and he certainly got them, and he was quite successful. I think we have to agree. So just having that proactiveness about our recruitment. I mean, he is a director of football recruitment, not just a director of football. Certainly good start for his tenure, and we'll see if he can keep it up with whoever's next in the door. I would like a couple in. I think we certainly need it, at least for injury cover. So I mean, I just kind of want to see who's next. It's certainly a good start in my opinion.
Shona, on to you. Just kind of same question. If we're going to go, do you want to see numbers coming in, or do you want to see quality coming in? Obviously, we've got an injury list as long as we're armed just now. Players are just dropping like flies left, right, and centre. What kind of market should we be shopping in, and what do you think should we be going for? Quality players, or just a case of bringing numbers in, people at squad fillers?
I think we should bring in quality and maybe trying to get rid of maybe likes of the couple of guys that are in the squad already. Maybe try and get rid of them. Maybe the likes of, if we could look for the likes again. Maybe I don't think Roof will obviously be obviously not injured for going or fit for a medical at the moment, but maybe the likes of other players like John McLaughlin, I could see them maybe hopefully leaving in January. If we can try and get them out the door, it's going to be difficult, I think, with these guys because some of them have not played a lot of football. But no, maybe the likes of, I don't know about Hadji. There's possible about Hadji coming back. There's a possibility that he might get a game, or is he going to go back out and a permanent deal or whatever happens in the summer with him? So there's possibility of getting money for him. I think the manager doesn't really fancy Ridvan, if I'm honest. But that's just my opinion. I don't think Ridvan's good enough to be good enough for Rangers. I think everyone else thinks he might be. I just don't think he's suited. I just don't. That's just my opinion. But look, I can't see us really looking for a left back in the January transfer window. I think the midfield and up front is probably a wee bit more important. But whether he fancies Scott Wright to do as a turn for the rest of the season, maybe likes of Rabbi Matondo, I'm not too sure. So I think the jury's out for these guys until the summer. So I think we might be only to get maybe rid of 1 or 2 in January, maybe Adam Devine, maybe one Alex Lowry as well. So maybe the likes of Leon King going out on loan. But no, I think we've definitely got to add quality. I think you've got to be looking at maybe doing this transfer window under Clement and saying to yourself, well, if we can go on to win the league in the summer, I think if you can pay a higher transfer value just now, even if you have to pay that extra £1 million or £2 million to bring the guy in at this moment in time, if it wins you the league, then it sets us up well for the next season. I think that will be an absolute Brucey bonus. So no, I definitely think you have to add quality at this moment in time, but who that's going to be, because I think the other one that's the only other signing that I've heard obviously interesting, I think he's not playing for Aberdeen at the moment because he doesn't want to get injured, and I think that's Connor Barron that we're probably going to have to sign on a pre-contract around about 350 to 500 grand. So I don't know if he'll be able to go straight into the first team. I'm not sure. We're going to wait and see on that one. Obviously, you've got maybe the likes of Bailey Rice. I think the manager's got questions over Bailey Rice and his ability to do the work off the ball at the moment. So no, I think there's options definitely there, but I think what we definitely need to do is we need to add quality, not quantity, because we need to start reducing that wage bill as well.
Andrew, Jonah brings up a good point about the wage bill. Problem position for me going into January's left back. We're a bit an enigma when it comes to left back just now. Ridvan hasn't really hit a ground running, as Shona said. Borna's not staying fit. Do you think that's something we could potentially see some movement in? Who would kind of, apart from left back, who would you sell it? Who would you try and move on for squad?
It's an old cliche. It's almost it's hard to get players out as it is to get players in. We have some really duff contracts. Like Shona mentioned Kamar. His wages for his output is sky high in a bad way. I don't know what Phil thinks of the centre backs that are there. He certainly is liking having Leon back in the team. Leon Balogun, of course, and then there's questions of AFCON for him. I think, to be honest, the last few weeks, the best, most steady centre back pairing has been Balogun and obviously Connor. So whether that means you can just take the punt and sell Ben Davies or Suter, regardless of whether that's a good thing or not, I mean, I like Suter. I think if he can turn it around, and he could be useful to the club. Davies, I think, I know some of the support is definitely already made up their mind in him, and I don't think the majority of the support would be too upset if he was to be moved on. So if that can get us in a transfer fee, especially for maybe a Davies going down to the Championship, free up his wages, you could maybe look at bringing in another kind of defensive player. I feel like I'm stealing Mason's thunder, but I feel like I need to say it because I fully agree with it. I think Josh Doig should be the top of our shopping list for our left back. Scottish fills that tick that box right now. Not having the best of time at Hellas Verona, showing that maybe Italian football isn't for all Scottish players, but I mean, I think that just shows the qualities of Ferguson, who's making it look like a scoosh. I know it's different positions and all that. Bologna and Verona and two different kind of positions in the table, but I think he'd be tempted to come back if Rangers he knows Rangers. He's Scottish. You need to know Rangers if you're a Scottish footballer, and you'll know what you get. You get the stadium, you get Europe, you get. I don't know what he's on at Verona, but I don't think it'd be too much of a step down, if any, to come back to Scottish football and come to Rangers. So I think he should be top of our shopping list at left back. I don't know, Ridvan. It's the question that we seem to be pushing away till the end of the season, or maybe there's a plan back in the background that Clement wants him to go in January, or maybe he wants to keep him. It could be two completely different arcs here. He certainly has been a bit brighter, but I think he maybe is trying to shake off the injuries he's had. I think the story for Borna has kind of been written, that he's putting in his performance now to put himself in the shop window, which I don't have an issue with. I mean, he's a professional footballer. I don't think he wants to retire at the end of the season. So if he wants another gig, he's going to need to put in the effort. So that's fine with me. But we can't keep kicking this can down the road.
Aye, definitely. Borna for me, I don't even think he's got another big move in him. He's about 30, 31 now.
I could see Gerrard having a look at him and going to Saudi.
Might be a shout, actually. Aye, might be a shout. I don't think we've seen the last of Stevie G, to be brutally honest. His job's under a wee bit of threat at Al-Ettifaq just now, so I don't really know if he'll come back for anybody. But showing a left back, is there anybody you come away with some wonder players for the middle of nowhere? Is there anybody you've been looking up?
Well, if I was better prepared for this, I did have people in my notes. When was this to do with Rangers transfers? Let me see if I can look it out. Is it Florian Masulia, whoever his name is? I think that was one that I came up with. And oh God, I would have to come back to them. But no, there was a few players that I'd looked at recently. But yeah, no, I haven't got them with me at the moment. But no, the guy that's on loan? Who's the guy that's on loan for?
Owen Beck.
For Dundee.
That's the one.
Owen Beck.
Yes, I quite like
choice,
him. I don't know about Josh Doig. The only problem for me about Josh Doig is I think with the transfer fee, I think they'll probably be looking upwards of 6 to 8, 9 million for him. I don't know if I would pay that for Josh Doig, but I couldn't tell you honestly when Josh Doig contract runs out. So I don't know if there's maybe an option to reduce that fee in the summer if he's only got a year left in his contract. But no, there was a couple that I'd put out on Twitter, I think about 10 days ago, and I can't really think of them at the top of my head. But I'll definitely be studying up on that one for the next podcast. But no, I think for Ridvan, what I like about Ridvan is he does like to be very, very direct, and I do like that about him. The problem with Ridvan is that I feel that he's not any better defensively than Borna. I really don't. I think he could be quite vulnerable. The fact of his height and his stature, that's just for me. I don't think he's suited for Scottish football. I think he would probably do better down in the Championship or maybe I really do in the Premier League. I just don't think he's suited for our league, and I don't think as well with the balls that he puts into the box are as good as Borna Barisic's. I think Borna offers you. I think Borna's been one of our most consistent players this season. I've heard rumours that Borna would be quite happy just to stay here as a squad player and not actually be the number one. So whether that's an option, I'm not sure. The good thing is about Ridvan is you're probably likely to get your transfer value back on him because his name in the likes of Turkey. So I think you would probably be able to recoup probably most of that money, if not a wee bit more back on him, and maybe a sell-on clause. So that's the positives of selling Ridvan. For me, he just doesn't really cut it. That's just my opinion. I just don't think that Ridvan. I like him. I think he's a good wee player, but I just don't think he's suited for a league.
He's definitely not got the physicality or the height or stature for the league. What I like about Ridvan is he gives you a different option going forward. He kind of inverts his game quite a bit more, plays kind of different passes and stuff like that. But for me, it would be Boyle and Beckett Dundee. I've seen him countless times now. He's got the physicality and the kind of he's a bit of a mixture of Borna and Ridvan together. He's got the height and the physicality. He fits with player trading model. Going forward, he's a threat, plays different kinds of passes, can whip a good cross into a box. It's really, really impressed me for his time at Dundee. Now we're going to move on to the weekend. Firstly, Andrew, what's your thoughts on the game on Saturday? What are you thinking?
I think it's a case of looking at both sets of team sheets and seeing how we feel about them, because it's been a tale of two of the kind of trusted centre halves at both clubs limping off, which is kind of heart and mouth stuff. Obviously, Connor, I couldn't tell you. I think it was maybe just a bit of tightness, or well, I'm hoping it's just a bit of tightness, and they took him off as a precaution, and it similarly happened to Carter Vickers across the city. Admittedly, Carter Vickers missed the first Old Firm of the season and we couldn't capitalise. But I think being without Connor would be an interesting challenge that Clement would have to kind of shuffle his players around. Again, it's that injury game and how do we react to it. Again, obviously Lundstrom out with his ankle issue. That's a big miss. So it'll be interesting to see how we match up with their midfield three. I mean, there's a talk that Hatate will be back for them. I would be lying to you if I said if it was McGregor, O'Reilly, and Hatate against Dowell, Sterling, and say Cantwell. I'm not too pleased with that, but it's the hand that we've been dealt, so we just need to react to it and hope that Sterling and Dowell can really put in a shift because they'll need to. I'm going to unmute Scotty.
Shona, what about you? What's your feeling about the weekend? What are you thinking?
Oh, I'm very excited. I don't think we should have any fear against them. I think we'll probably play similar to what we played in likes of Betis. I think we'll try and press them high up the pitch and force them into errors and try and pick up in the second ball. But I do believe that the midfield is going to be absolutely vital for this. I'm not obviously we want Golson to be there, but I don't think that's our biggest issue. If the likes of Suter, Ben Davies is fit, I think the bigger issue for me is probably in that midfield area. I think if we lose John Lundstrom, I think he would be pivotal, him and Sterling in the middle of that park. Because I think the last couple of firm games we've been run over the top in midfield, and I think the midfield is probably where the battle is going to happen within 90 minutes in that pitch. Because I don't think there's much between. I think their defence is absolutely rotten. I think their goalkeeper's rotten. If they're without Carter Vickers, I think that's a massive blow, massive advantage for us. I think our defence this season's been absolutely solid. Obviously, only conceded 8 goals and is it 17 games so far on this season. So, no, I think we don't need to worry about our defence, our goalkeeper. I think it's the midfield for me. I think up front, look, guys, we're left with what we've got up front, aren't we? I think we can kind of put it into perspective. I think the only one for me that might be a wee bit of a different one up front is to go with Scott Wright for that extra bit of pace, that bit of kind of experience, or just stick with McCausland. I think it'll be Seema and Desser's obviously up top, and you've obviously got Cantwell. But look, Gill's played really, really well the last couple of games. There's no disputing that. He scored really good goals. Could I see him possibly maybe coming on for maybe Cantwell slightly later on and playing further up the pitch? Probably, but I think you need probably 2 battlers in midfield, and for me it'd be Lundstram and Raheem. Raheem, for God's sake, what am I talking about? And Sterling, in the middle of the park. So no, oh God, what am I talking about? So no, for me, I think it's pivotal that we probably have John Lundstram back. But like Andrew said, I think the manager really fancies Balogun. I think this is probably Balogun is probably one of his best seasons. I think I've seen him in a Rangers jersey. I think when he came in for his first season, he did okay, but I think he has been he's been pivotal to us keeping those goals out, him and Goldson. So yeah, I would like to prefer to have that pairing in the centre back area, but no, for me, I think I would really hope that Lindstrom's fit for this game. I think he's just getting wrapped up quite nicely, just sitting there just now, and waiting for the good old Rangers the old firm days, so when he can unleash himself. So no, I think Lindstrom will probably play. I think he was just taken off because of a precautionary, but we'll find out tomorrow in the presser, I'm sure. So fingers crossed that Lindstrom's fit, guys. But they are there for the taking, absolutely 100%. I don't think we should fear them. I think at the end of the day, we could set down a marker here, and we've got the 2 games extra in hand. I know obviously guys said that we would probably prefer to play Ross County the other night, but I think it's going to be a blessing in disguise for us. So let's fingers crossed that we get a win on Saturday.
Andrew, Shona brought up a good point about Leon Balogun and Goldson and the kind of partnership they've taken. 2 questions, I suppose. Would you give Balogun another year at the end of the season, and how important is it that Goldson plays on Saturday?
It's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a good thing that you've managed to bring Balogun back. I think at the time it was a bit short-sighted. 35-year-old. Obviously, he was 33 when he came here the first time around in the 1-year deal. Didn't get it renewed, which I thought was a bad decision at the time. It goes to QPR with Bale. I think there's definitely no hiding the fact that he loves being here. He loves what the club represents. He loves the support. He loves the opportunities he's getting. And he certainly doesn't look like a 35-year-old centre-back. He's agile. He's got a quick first step. And he certainly isn't afraid to get in amongst it. If they're saying that people like the players at that age maybe are starting to think about their legs after the conditioning the legs after football, he certainly isn't struggling with it. He certainly gets stuck into the challenges. I think he won a free kick against Motherwell where he kind of mid falling down kicked the ball out for a throw. It was given as a foul. But it was quite a hard hit in the ground. But he kind of shakes up. He gets on with it. I think I started to call him Leon Weir or Davy Balogun, one of the two. But I think that partnership with Goldson. I mean, we said. Well, I'd been saying I wasn't on the podcast at that time. Obviously, when his contract was running up and there was talk of him going elsewhere, I think I'd said at the time we would be spending £3 or £4 or £5 million on a centre back to do the job that he does. So just pay the man his wage and keep him here. I don't think he's disappointed me. I think he's probably one of the more consistently 7, 8 out of 10. In terms of defensive duties, obviously 7 out of 10 you would expect goals, assists, whatever. For his defensive duties, he is consistently top for me, and probably one of the best centre halves I've seen in my lifetime. I know that's short compared to other Rangers supporters. I've seen Butchers, Goffs, and so on, but he just brings so much to that back line, and it's he's definitely one I think that Coppin should be compiling a list, definitely for centre halves in general, but Goldson and Tav are going to be winding down. You're going to need to manage their minutes next season if we're going to, talk about Tav maybe retiring or whatever. You're going to need to manage their minutes if they plan to keep them next season, because they're not going to be able to keep doing 95% of Rangers games in a season that includes European football, cup games and league play. That's not sustainable for guys in their 30s, 32, for Tav, or going 33. So I think it's a case of management for both of them. Both of them, as of now, have been the best pairing, Balogun and Goldson. I don't know if it's just not clicking for Suter when he's in there alongside Goldson. I think shuffling from that right-sided centre-back at Hearts to being the left-sided centre-back here. And then Davies, even though he is the left-sided centre-back, just, I don't know what it is, can't hit consistent form. He isn't doing it consistent enough to impress the manager. So I think we need to look for long-term answers elsewhere.
I think for me, see if we gave Balogun another year, but give him the role he was supposed to have this season. I think for me, it's a wee bit of a no-brainer, to be honest with you. Showing on to the injury situation, can you see any, apart from obviously you mentioned Lundstrom and Goldson, can you see any other boys coming back as a wee bit of a surprise?
Not that I can think of at the moment. I think everybody else is pretty much out long term. I think I don't know, was it not Rastkin as well? He's obviously had a bit of a setback, wasn't it? He had a bit of a setback. The only other one that I think is just Goldson, isn't it? Ben Davies going to be fit for the game? I'm not too sure. So no, I can't really see a surprise sprung in there. I don't think will want to spring a surprise into this game. I think the guys have probably been training very, very hard towards this game. So no, I'm really looking forward to it. I think at the moment the momentum is with us. I think to be honest, if we can get a draw out of it, I'd be happy with a draw. But I think we should be going there to win with their defence all over the place, and obviously the goalkeeper situation. I think a lot of the fans out there don't like the way that Kyogo's playing in this kind of deeper role. Now Desters has now got more goals than Kyogo this year, so he's obviously not turning into that bad a player, is he, Scott? So no, I think no, I'm pretty confident. I just hope the likes of everybody else is fit. The likes of Seema, likes of Sterling. I just had to get that one in there, didn't I? The likes of Seema, the likes of Sterling, these important players. Just really hope they're fit, and fingers crossed for me, it's Lundstrom and Goldson are in there too. And if we've got Lundstrom and Goldson in there, guys, that's 100% probably our fittest, best team that we've got at this moment in time, isn't it? So no, maybe Matondo, would he be back as well? Did he not take a knock?
He's already been back.
Yeah.
Me,
so I think
there you go.
I just said it kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? Really, the lineup. So no, I don't think we should be fearing them. I think they've got problems all over their pitch. We don't have as many issues as what they're having across there. So, but no, yeah, we're really looking forward to it, guys. I don't know what you guys are doing for it, but I'm going to the Leiden. I can't wait.
Personally, I think you're going to see somebody that's been out with a long-term injury on the bench, like a Raskin or something. I think in centre mid, where the amount of numbers we've got in there, if Lundstrom's not back fit, that's a major issue for us. Thank God Sterling's been playing. Ryan Jack might come back fit. Thank God Sterling's been playing in centre mid, because he's kind of went with a 2 and a 1 in midfield, with one more pushing forward. With Dowell is kind of like the 8, and Sterling's kind of been like a number 6 sitter. I think we need Sterling's athleticism on Saturday. I think that's massive. The game's going to be won and lost in midfield. They have got good quality players in midfield, so we need to be at our best in that department as well as everywhere else. Andrew, what do you think about? Do you think this is the most important game of the season? Can you see it having a negative impact if we don't get a result? I don't know. It's not really going to put us on a bad run of form, but I don't really think this is make or break either. But it could potentially be a bit of a banana skin.
Funnily enough, as I said, I was up at Newman's house to get a photo with the League Cup, and John Brown, Bomber, was there, and he was saying, we actually had a quick chat with him, and he was saying, I need to take a point at minimum. I think he's right. I think if we lose that, it'll be more of a. I don't think it'll be much of a boost for them as it would be just a pain in the backside for us. Because I think we really should be applying the pressure now. With the new manager coming in, his run of form says it all. Since he's come in, we've certainly looked a completely different team. We had a tiny wee kind of slump in games, which I kind of was a bit worried about. Maybe saying, "No, there goes the new manager bounce," but we've even rebounded from that, and we're looking good. Celtic are certainly under pressure at the minute. I mean, Rodgers certainly seems to be public enemy number one. Not that he wasn't public enemy number one already before he came in, but he doesn't seem to be doing himself any favours. I certainly think their recruitment in the summer was shoddy at best. Brendan's decided to change the style of play that he wants, that was there, which was obviously going to be a massive change to what was there under Postecoglou. Kyogo seems to drop deeper. He's less of being on the cutting edge of the game and now being just in the kind of passages and phases of playing as a normal kind of attacking midfielder instead of a striker. They're certainly struggling with injuries as well. It's not a mistake that they're struggling as well. Hatate's struggled. You know, their centre backs. I mean, they had to bring on Stephen Welsh again, which I thought he was still in the shadow realm since Defoe put him on his backside. You know, you're in the Rockies, your Lagerbielks. They've not been brilliant signings. I'd like to just live by my life by the you know your enemy as much as you know yourself. And I have to say that they have made the mistake that they made going into our 55 season. They've traded the quality for quantity of project players, and it's biting them in the backside now. Don't get me wrong, I think Luis Palma on his game can be a tidy wee number on the wing, but he's not always on his game, and he's turning into a bit of a Ryan Kent at times. The good old step over, cut inside and find Rose Ed. But you know, it's form as everybody knows, and our old firm goes out the window. The old firm is like no other game. I wouldn't put it by the Brendan style of just it doesn't matter how you win. If they can get across the line, it would do him the world of good.
Hey, sorry about that, guys. Elaine was a bit not. Elaine would come down and start crying. I just wanted to make sure she was all right. I kind of lost my rhythm now. Shona, into the weekend, can you see a negative result having a bad impact in the rest of the season?
I really do think they're there for the taking. I think I spoke to Celtic one the other day, and I don't think they've won. Is it 3 games in a row yet? So this season, so they won 2. They're also going to lose a third this weekend coming. So no, I think the way they're talking, they're more nervous than us. We just need to keep doing what we're doing under Clement. Look, I'm pretty confident about this weekend. I think this is our opportunity. And obviously there won't be any away fans there. I think that's obviously not ideal, but I think if we can handle them under this pressure with them in a full stadium, I think the good thing for us though, we need to go 1-0 up. I think we need to start off the game well, and I think we need to obviously score the early goals to put the pressure on them and on the fans within the stadium. So no, I'm really looking forward to it. I think Brendan Rodgers is under a wee bit of pressure. I think the fans are now looking at their transfer window and saying to themselves, they spent over nearly £30 million over the past couple of transfer windows. I think they spent £70 million in the past 3 years, and I don't think a lot of it has benefited from them. I think you can talk about European football all you like, but I think if you've got the experience of being in that European football consistently, I think that's what Rangers have done. You build up that mentality, and I think obviously we'll have the mentality going in this weekend. I think if we did lose the game, I'd be pretty gutted, because I think what the biggest thing for me is under the manager so far is we have gone unbeaten. And I don't know what about you guys, but it's how we're going to react to a loss. And I think that'll be the biggest thing for me. And I don't really want to do that going into a winter break. So I would take obviously a point. Obviously, I want 3 points the weekend. My prediction is the Rangers will win this. Probably, I actually do think we'll win 2-0. I don't think we'll concede a goal. And I think there'll be a penalty in that game, because I think that's now 2 games now that we haven't had a penalty. So it's like a double rollover. So I'm probably expecting at least 1 or maybe probably 2 penalties at the weekend, so that'll just start off the conspiracies. I would roughly say I think the penalty is probably going to come around about the 88th minute. I think that would be absolutely delightful. So no, a double roller for me on Saturday. And yeah, you can shovel your conspiracy theories with the sun doesn't shine. But no, I'm really looking forward to it, guys. I really am. I think this is probably, I think when you said to me after the game in the first game in the Old Firm season when we had Michael Beale and we were really disappointing. I think now the managers came in with this freshness. I think the fans are really on board with it. I think the fact we made a signing this week as well just builds up that momentum. I think it's been a blessing in disguise that we've had a wee break in there. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So no, nothing to worry about from my point of view. Nothing.
Just a kind of point that's springing to mind, because obviously, well, Shona is definitely in that it's going to be a Rangers win camp. I will take a draw. I think this would be an interesting one because obviously Leon Balogun said, and I think it might have been the press conference after the League Cup, was we get a winner's mentality, and the managers installed this we win our games mentality, and the team, and obviously that word mentality kind of goes hand in hand with bottle across social media, and if Rangers have got the bottle, we got that the winners mentality that we did back in the 55 season where we were just winning everything every game. Well, when we didn't lose that in that season in the league campaign. It's actually a massive test to see, is this just going to be a false dawn of Rangers being, strong enough, have enough character in the players in the park to get it over the line for 3 points instead of just taking one or even none at all. There was no away fans again. That's a whole different topic that we could have a whole different podcast on the whole away support at Parkhead and Ibrox. So again, we've played in it before last season without any away support. I'm hoping, and I'm hoping that this will be a time where we'll just get the heads down as a team, as a unit, do our job, focus on the way we play. And if we do that, especially under Clement, not as much with Beale because it was dreadful. Under Clement, if we stick to doing what we set out to do in the training the week before, it's exactly what the manager instills, then it doesn't matter what the opposition do. We play our game and we'll run them over. I think this will be although this will be test number 455 under Rangers of the mentality check. But I feel like we're actually in a good position to maybe pass it this time.
Andrew, just a wee quick question. Do you think the pressure's more on them to get the 3 points? Because I do. I think they have to win. So I think it kind of takes a wee bit of the pressure off us, a wee bit slightly, and I think that's in our favour. I think they'll have to come out all guns blazing. I think that opening 20, 25 minutes is probably going to be pretty vital.
Yeah, I think that's about right, but it's the double-edged sword again because our Celtic, the underdogs, because in that case, the Rangers should win it. But if that's again putting that onus on our team to go and do the job at Parkhead with the hostile atmosphere to get the 3 points, and it's one of those where it's hard to. You never go into an Old Firm. I still think I know we've had some really poor results in my lifetime against Celtic, but I don't really think there's been an Old Firm we went into where I'm just thinking, yeah, it's just another game of football and we're just going to win. I feel like that's just the Old Firm atmosphere, the environment, and just this city that any Old Firm game can have any result. So it sounds so boring and it sounds like such a cop-out answer, but it's up to the players. It really is. They just need to prove it to themselves. And if they do that, then I think, we've seen it before with Celtic, that as soon as the dominoes start going, it's hard to stop it, and the support is already kind of turned their back or turned to face the director's box, shall we say. And they could be a couple of poor results away from catastrophe. And if that happens, then yippee.
I think they've already kind of been in that kind of zone where the barriers have been outside Sharkhead and all this kind of stuff. And I think I watched them against Dundee and they're coming out the other side of it, but it only takes one bad result again and it's back on them. For me, having Philip come on and place the mentalities and still getting the League Cup over the line was probably the biggest thing, not just of our season, but that could have happened to us in years, is getting that first trophy in the bag. I don't think the players are going to be frightened or anything going out of us on Saturday. I think they're going to welcome a challenge. I think they're going to take the game to Celtic. The Batiste game was massive for us, and then following that up with the final. But most importantly, out of the three matches was getting that home win the week after. I think we home at St Johnstone was our game in hand. We come away for a big European match in a cup final. Usually that's when you can tell that. A team aren't quite there mentally. They get 3 points over the line, and they're just constantly churning out results under Cumont. So I'm very happy, very optimistic for Saturday. But if you ask me, I would take a draw just now. Take a draw and go, because it's the hardest away victory season. Shona, would you take a draw?
Well, obviously I want to win, but yeah, I'll take a draw at this moment in time, because I do think the momentum is still with us. I think we can still go top of the league. I think that would be the best thing for us, and we'll put the games in hand. But we'd expect it to beat them. But I think it'll be like more or less down like a tactical masterclass. I think what we've learned to do over the last couple of weeks is when teams do sit in, we've been able to take advantage of that and get results out of it. I don't think Celtic have managed that at all well this year. So it really depends. I think the game will be pretty open. I think that's what's going to happen. I think those 25, 30 minutes will probably be a bit more vital towards Rangers than Celtic, because I do think Celtic are going to try and come at us. I think it'll be very much similar to the Betis game. I think what we'll have to do is press quite high up the pitch. Don't let them play balls in behind us. I think the guys that are obviously there down the wings, I think we'll need to be careful with them. But I think if you've got the likes of Sterling in there, I think that'll be ideal. So no, I think for me, I think overall, I'm really looking forward to it. And I just think it'll be just down to whoever comes out best on the day. And I think the momentum is definitely with us. Like Andrew said, I know form goes out the window, but I think if you want us to kind of set a marker down for this league title, I think it's about time that we started beating them on their home ground patch in front of their own fans, quieting them down, get them to shut up about obviously them going on about winning the league and all these conspiracy theories. But I'm sure obviously the penalty will just kind of stamp things up a wee bit when we get into the Rangers. So no, I'm really looking forward to it. I just would I take a draw? Of course, you would take a draw away from home. I think anybody would in these big games, but I think with the way we're playing at the moment, and I think under the new manager, I think if we want to keep building that same winning mentality, I think it'd be a massive high for the guys. I think going from the League Cup final, and then obviously winning that, and then obviously going on to the next big game. Well, should I say big game against Betis? Or should I say before that was Betis, wasn't it? Then it was the cup final game, and then going obviously into the Old Firm game. I think that's massive for their mentality, and massive for their confidence, and massive for the manager and the team going forward, and the guys in the background staff, and obviously Niles Copping coming in the 1st of January. So, no, for me, I think it would be massive if we got those 3 points, really do. But I would take a draw.
Just quickly going on to lineups and predictions, and my lineup is going to be Butland, Tav, Goldson, Balogun, Barisic. Barisic purely because he's experienced in the match. There's rumours that Abada's coming back. If Abada's going to be in a lineup, then I'm going to be a wee bit worried, because he's showed Bournemouth how to play football once or twice at Parkhead. Then I'm going to go Lundstrom, Sterling with Cantwell in front of him, Seema, Scott Wright, and Dessers. I think McCausland's going to get a break. I think he's due it. He didn't have his best game at Fir Park last week. I think he needs to start, but I think he's going to get a break. I'm going to go a 2-1 Rangers win. Andrew, what about you?
That's pretty much what I would have went for. I think you're right with McCausland. Although I think he'll be jumping at the bit to get this opportunity, especially at Parkhead, to try and silence their support. I think I all know his roots with Rangers. I think if he was given the opportunity, he'd grasp it with both hands. But I think that's maybe a decision that the manager might need to take, is to have him as an impact sub. If that's something that we're going to look at to inject some pace in the second half. I'm actually kind of happy with Seema, Dessers, and Wright. I think Scott. It's weird. Scott Wright's just that. it's hard to find the word for Scott Wright. I'm a big fan of Scott Wright, but it's sometimes in some games where he just doesn't have a good performance, you go, why are you at this team? And then he'll go and run a game and come on and make such an impact, take the ball in a swivel and dart at the defences and just make them track back and track back and track back, win a foul or move the ball on, and he looks sharp, he looks talented, he looks dangerous. If he can get that dangerous Scott Wright at Parkhead, I think because of it, they tend to slow the game down. They're kind of doing the horseshoe, with the dreaded horseshoe that we've seen this season, and their match pace is just slow. Having Scott Wright to drive it and ramp up our game pace and put them on the back foot, I think that would be something that we could utilise. Whether that could be at Matondo instead, or even, I think obviously with McCausland having that bit of pace himself, he would work in that scenario. I think it's just Clement will make that game time decision on his right-sided winger, because I think Sima is perfect for this game. The effort, his work rate, his pace, that'll give the opposite fullback some trouble. I think it'll be up to the manager to find who he favours in that other flank.
See if Abada does start. Now that I've thought about it, actually, I think Borna starting would probably be the best choice at left back, because see with Sima and Sima's the shift he puts in, I think that threat gets nullified quite quickly, to be honest.
Well, I hadn't heard anything about Abada being anywhere near
training.
As he's training back training. I don't know if it'll be too soon for him. Obviously, Borna, I'm sure at some nights it'll keep him up with his defensive displays against Lillabada, but I think just coming back from injury, going straight into an old firm, I don't think that's a wise decision. But I'd really hope he does make that decision, Brendan, because it would play right into our favour. I'm actually kind of happy with Borna. I'm not too worried about the Abada conundrum. I think he's played a lot better defensively for me this season, actually, and since Clement's came in, I think he's doing his defensive duties better. I think that's down to the way that Tav and Borna are set up to play. I think their kind of stationary line on the park is lower than it was under Beale, which is taking the pressure off of Borna, knowing that if I get caught, I'm in danger. I'm in danger here of getting ran past and just burned for pace. Having the kind of taking that pressure off and knowing I'm fine in my shape, I've got cover, is doing him the world of good. And I think it's probably, I don't know all the underlying statistics, but from a defensive, like duels won and tackles won, he must be doing better than his previous seasons, in my opinion. So, in this kind of form patch under Clement.
Aye, definitely. Got a prediction?
I'll say a 2-0. I would love to see Cantwell score at Parkhead, because
that'd be brilliant.
I don't know what kind of celebration he would pull off, but
that would be outstanding.
I'm not saying it would be up there with the Kent gun fingers celebration, but it would rile them up. If that's the perfect scenario, would be an early goal from Cantwell, because you get the anger of we've conceded early and we're going to lose here, or the rattled mentality, like the rattled by the early goal, and then add on top it was a Cantwell goal. It would be a catastrophe for them.
Showing on to you, prediction and a lineup.
Probably roughly go with the same lineup as you, Scotty. I think actually Scott Wright will play instead of McCausland. I think that's just more down to obviously Scott Wright probably got that a little bit more experience than McCausland. I think a couple of times that McCausland, when he's tracking back, he's not marked his runner a few times, and I think maybe that's what I think for big games like this, I think you'll probably need to have somebody a bit more defensive. Like obviously when Sterling's come in there, he's actually filled that hole at the back of right back to help Tav. So, and like Seema's done on the left hand side for Borna Barisic. So, as far as I'm aware, I think Hitati and who was Abada, I think both of them are still not going to be fit enough for the weekend. And if you've got the likes of Carter Vickers out, I think obviously then I think that's the big massive blows for them. So no, if Scott Wright comes off the bench and plays a lovely assist for Dessers, and Dessers gets taken down, in the penalty box and it's a penalty to Rangers, then I'm all for it. So, no, I'm looking forward to a 2-0 victory. And I'm going to go for a wee bit of outside the box. I'm going to go for obviously a tough penalty in the 89th minute. But I think obviously Dessers is going to score as well, and I think he's going to just noise up the crowd. So, but I don't think he'll do as good as TikTok Todd or whatever they want to call them now. I think we've got a few players now out there. I think we've got TikTok my idea and TikTok somebody else. So no, I'm looking forward to seeing what Campbell does at the weekend. I think he'll like a good noise up. But I think one thing for us is going to be the guys at the weekend is discipline. We need to really, really watch our discipline. We've got Nick Walsh that's going to be the referee, and I think is it Willie Collum that's on VAR. So yeah, I think discipline will be key as well at the weekend. So yeah, 2-0 victory for me. I'm going the same as Andrew. I'm just going to make it simple. And really looking forward to it, guys. So, yeah, let's see what everybody else is in the comments, what they think the prediction's going to be on at the weekend. And, yeah, looking forward to it.
Right, I think that's us. I think that wraps everything up. Andrew, I'll get over to you just to say your goodbyes and thank you, the listeners.
Yeah, thanks to everyone listening again on the live stream and everyone listening back. It's going to be a big few days for the club. Just going into that winter break would be perfect to kind of get the monkey off the back of winning at Parkhead. It would certainly do us the world of good, and it certainly would have some interesting reading for across the city in their reaction to that loss if we can get across the line. But massive game, and I hope that we can do our job and get the 3 points.
Shona?
Yeah, well, I think this is the last pod that I'm doing before the new year. So happy new year to you all, and I'll see you in 2024. And let's just hope that Flair Month gets a result at the Chamber of Secrets, because yes, magic,
Well, let's hope for a tough penalty and a TikTok Todd winner. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. We will see you after the Old Firm, and we are the people.